Good morning, you guys. It's awesome to be here at 7 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. And honest to God, I almost didn't get up. Like, I literally rolled out of bed about, 15 minutes ago and threw my hair up in a bun, and I noticed it's even lopsided. So I'm like, kind of like a lopsided bun going on here. But what's cool is that I got my ass out of bed and showed up to be here with you on 7 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. So I actually messaged Chris and I was like, Chris, any chance that you could jump on Coffee with Shanda this morning at 7 a.m., kind of trying to renegotiate like my commitment to still be able to deliver for you and not be like a lame-o and cancel because I'm tired. But the truth is that I actually don't feel tired right now, Allie, woo-hoo! Which is awesome. But the drama in my head, I shouldn't even say drama in my head. It wasn't drama in my head. I woke up I literally fell asleep at 10 o'clock last night, which normally I go to sleep at like 8:30. So right there already I'm off to like not a good start for me. So I know you have some sort of routine that maybe you're the type of person, you can let me know if you are. Are you the type of person that you have a routine and like say you go from single to a relationship and then you find it hard to keep your routine, like your workout routine? Somehow workout routines just get thrown out the window when you get into relationships until you like reestablish a new routine. But like, are you the type of person who like, you like your routines and then when they get shifted, it kind of throws you off? Well, you kind of got to start to get over that. And I'm gonna be really real with you right now. So yes, I went to bed at like 10 o'clock last night, which some of you guys, you're laughing because that's like early for you. That's really late for me when I normally go to bed at 8:30. But at 1:30 in the morning, I was wide awake. And I should have got up and worked. I should have got up and worked. I just know better. Like if you're like firing on all cylinders, there's nothing that says that you have to work between 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night. Like if you can work like in the middle of the night and you've got a second wind or a third wind or a first wind, then I say ride that wave when it's there. And so I didn't do it. I knew I should have done it. And what happened was, I kept like getting up, writing things down, going back, well, not going back to sleep, but laying, tossing and turning. And what it dawned on me is I just put grounding sheets back on my bed. So if you don't know what that is, the EMF waves from all of our computers and things like that, we have like stickers on the back of every single one of our computers, TVs, everything inside this house. And I bought grounding sheets a long time ago and they got washed and didn't end up back on my bed for like a month. And I actually was like, I went and searched for them because I'm at a point in my life where I love the fact that I don't do that stuff for myself. So I don't like make my bed. Isn't that crazy? Like I literally don't make my bed anymore. Because it means if I made my bed, I wouldn't be here doing Coffee with Shanda with you. If I still did my grocery shopping, I wouldn't be doing Coffee with Shanda with you. So I actually really started to trust myself and realize that if I outsource some of the things that, or build team with people who are actually good at staying on top of those things, and I can stay in my lane and focus on what I'm focusing on. However, that's irrelevant compared to the fact that at 1:30 in the morning, I'm wide awake, ready to go. I didn't get up and work. So frustrated at myself that I did that. But then come early this morning, I was in the spot where I was like, oh my God, I wish Chris would just do Coffee with Shanda for me. By the way, when Chris does Coffee with Shanda for me, it doesn't land on Instagram. So I have Instagram behind this computer right now. So there is a downfall if you don't follow me on the HeartCore Business Facebook page, because there's people that I bring on that really explode your mind in areas that help you get the edge inside your business. And that only happens on the HeartCore Business page. So just a side note on that. I also love listening to your feedback, like on the threads and telling me what you like and what you don't like, or what you want more of in these Coffees with Shanda, because that feeds me information to be able to just pour into you. However, I'm still in this conversation of the fact that I could have bailed on you this morning. Nobody's paying me to be here. I don't necessarily have to be here. I could stop Coffees with Shanda at any time, but I'm reading this book, and maybe you guys have already heard of it. We're actually now starting to push it through our entire community. I started talking to everybody inside my company. I asked them all to download the audiobook, not the written book, because the audiobook has a podcast connected with the reading of the audiobook. And the book is called, the book is from David Goggin, You Can't Hurt Me. And I highly recommend this book. So first of all, The habit that I recommend that you focus on changing inside your life is not doing life in isolation, not doing business in isolation, not when I look at the people who make it or don't make it that I coach, or even just the people around me, it's like when someone sets a goal and an aspiration and a commitment to create something, you can't say, like, you can never hear yourself saying like, I'm not supported, or I'm, it's not the right time in my life, or you can't say any of that shit. Like, it's not the right time in my life to be up right now doing coffee with Shanda. Really, I would love to be like in bed sleeping for just getting a couple hours sleep before I do a VIP day later on today at 9 a.m. So that's what I would prefer to be doing. And based on my comfort zone, if you would have allowed me to do that, I would have done that. But you see, I feel a calling to pull forward. And so what I do is I read books like David Goggins' book, and every single month this year, I have a book that I'm reading. Now, that's a big stretch for me. I will not effing fail on this, because I don't fail at anything, because I never quit. Now, do I fail at things that do I go after things and not hit the mark? Yes, but I don't quit. I have a mantra inside my head that says I always win. And that mantra has served me so well. I also say to myself that money is easy to make. And I actually believe it at the core of everything I have. It's like, money is easy to make. Even if I find myself in a negative profit margin, there's like no stress, because I actually believe money is easy to make. And the reason why is because I don't sit back and wait for directions. I seek clarity out. And when I seek clarity out, then I innovate and I hit the mark no matter what. I always know what I need to accomplish, and I always know what my goals are. And I know that you know that too. And so if you look at what makes high performers, then I'm going to tell you it's their habits. It's literally, everybody wants a new formula from me around how to grow a business. I'm like, guys, I do over 60 events a year. We just got landed on the Inc. 5000 list again this year. I don't know what number we are, but I just got the email. And I'm saying this in a humble state. Like, I never meant for this company to grow like this at all. Never meant it at all. Right? But it's so easy to make money and grow. It's so easy to course correct when you trust yourself. But it's hard to trust yourself if you're in isolation all the time. So whether you work for a company or you own a company, if you're the type of person who puts your head down and just works, you are actually operating in survival. And honestly, that will only get you so far. Eventually you'll quit, or you'll get fired, or you'll like find something, a new shiny object to chase, but you will end up on a different path. If you do it in isolation, just put your head down. So you have to look at things like that. I recommend everybody get the audiobook for David Goggins. Like, You Can't Hurt Me. Go get that audiobook and listen to it. Now, I gave it to our coaches, and I asked our team inside of HeartCore to study it as well. And now we're pushing it through our clients. And I don't get an affiliate commission for this. I'm not like, I just want you to know this is about just being generous and paying things forward that work for you in every area of your life so that people succeed. And I'm going to tell you that I don't wake up fired up, and I don't wake up on no sleep to come do things like this and then lead VIP days. You won't hear me at the end of the day say I'm exhausted. My husband has never heard me say I'm exhausted, right? He's never heard me say that. And the reason why is because I'm inundating my mind with things that help me find that next level, that help me find my edge. And you can do the same thing. So now, know that reading a book a month is a huge stretch for me. I'm the girl that reads 2 or 3 in a year, and that's a stretch for me. Like I have to commit to not moving to another book till I finish this book, because then I'll never complete what I start. And then I know the downfalls of not being in completion energy. That's another quitting cycle. So I know these things, so I don't fall into them. That's why I don't start multiple books at the same time, because I'm not the person who will finish them anytime quick. And so I don't want to be in my life where I've got multiple different projects open in my business or in my personal life or in my fitness or whatever. And they're all kind of open without any sort of excellence or completion. Right? I don't want to live like that. So what I do is I drive one thing home, really, like I go deep on one thing and I drive it home, but I always commit to completion. So the books that I have read, that I would say out of all my top books that I've read, High Performance Habits from Brendon Burchard is awesome. I would not say that that would be a book that would fire you up, because it won't fire you up, but it's great for organizing. It's great for just knowledge. It's great for actually just kind of making you a little smarter. Okay, so it works on your habits. It's great for that. The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, must read. Every single person on the planet should read it. Don't listen to audiobooks on that one. The War of Art. It's a very thin book from Steven Pressfield. If you've read it before and you're finding yourself facing resistance, read it again, right? He's also got another book, Turning Pro. But personally, I like The War of Art much, much better. I recommend a highlighter. This is another one that we recommend to our clients. And I can tell you, my clients who are reading it freaking crush it. So I'm not just telling you some BS thing here. I'm saying, hey guys, you probably already know some of this, but are you reading a book that fires you to the next level, or are you reading a book in self-reflection? So now listen to me here. Self-reflection can be highly addicting. I mean, I spent years in self-reflection thinking that the self-reflection was going to propel my life forward, and it never did. And it never does. It actually is a little bit like therapy, which is awesome. There's need for it. There's benefit for it, but it doesn't move things drastically forward. So if you're in a state where you love Coffees with Shanda, the place where we can hack your mind to really get the most out of today, then I'm going to recommend that you right now look for a book that will propel you forward. So either Steven Pressfield's War of Art, or definitely if you want to kick in the rear to find that like massive next level, then go to David Goggins' You Can't Hurt Me. Now, we had a coach say to me, well, at the beginning of David Goggins' book, I felt depressed and I just couldn't watch it anymore. And I gave her some coaching on it. And here's what I want to say if this comes up for you. You got to get over that. Like, the guy's just sharing his story, and his story is pretty brutal. I mean, his story is brutal. Like, I didn't realize how brutal his story was. I mean, I've heard him speak. I know about a little bit of his story, but I didn't realize how brutal his story is. And he shares things in this book, You Can't Hurt Me. He shares things that he's never shared before. And so I would say if you're really empathetic or like you can really feel people, then I would recommend that you be the safe space, because it took a lot for him to write that. I mean, he shares it. That's the one I actually want you to listen to the audiobook on, because after each chapter, they do a really small snippet with David where he actually shares some behind the scenes about that chapter. And he shares things he can't put in the book because the book would be forever long if he did it. And you can, like, to give you an idea, if you speak for 2 to 3 minutes, that's like 7 pages. Right? So he's able to, in like 4 or 5 minutes, give you a background that is very enlightening. And so if his story like depresses you, I'm going to say don't make it about you, and make it about holding space for a man that had the courage and the vulnerability and just the willingness to put it all out there and share what it is that he's actually gone through. And then he gets into the ass-kicking stuff that just takes your life to the next level. So I know everybody doesn't want to take their life to the next level, to that level of gear, but I kind of go, why wouldn't you want to see what you're made of? And that book will help you see what you're actually made of. So you can expect everything in your life to up level while you're actually like listening to that audiobook. So I just wanted to just share that with you this morning on Coffee with Shanda, and just, wake you up to the conversation of, there's no way we get to the top by just putting our head down and working really hard. It's not an event that you put on. It's not, an email list. It's not, a Facebook ad. It's not your signature talk. It's not your message. Shit. I have people who've created $800,000 in their businesses and never even knew what their effing message was. You know what I mean? Like, had no idea what their message was, or had no signature talk. You know what I mean? They just had a simple email list. So it's like, we just always think that there's something missing inside of us. And I'm saying there's nothing missing. There's nothing missing. Like, you can grow your life and your business without the angst. But you do have to focus on what are you feeding your mind on a daily basis to be able to give yourself that awareness and that edge. And if it's self-reflection, that's interesting. but it doesn't propel you forward. If it's something like The War of Art, Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield, or David Goggins' new book, You Can't Hurt Me, that stuff is going to propel you forward because it gives you a perspective. And listen to that word perspective, because if you listen to Gary Vee or Jesse Itzler or anybody, Sarah Blakely, or anybody around when they're speaking, they often use the word perspective. And there's a reason for that. Because when you get a new perspective, you stop stopping. You just stop living into anything, any limitation that's preventing you from living the full expression of your life. You just actually stop living into that. And so you have to inundate your mind with things like Coffees with Shanda that help you get a new perspective on the day so that you can create the exact results that you're capable of. Otherwise, you're under optimizing every breath you have. And that to me is a very scary moment. The thought of wasting today is a very scary moment to me. The thought that I have no idea what age I'm ever going to live to is kind of scary to me. The fact that I started getting gray hair now is very scary to me. And the reason why it's scary is because I know that there's still more inside me. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of getting older. I'm afraid of not living. And that's what I'm talking about today on Coffee with Shanda. It's about if we're living into any sort of limitation, which a limitation is I'm tired, I'm exhausted. You guys can clearly see I'm not exhausted right now. Now, the lead up to Coffee with Shanda, I tried to tell myself I was going to be a little tired and I could use an extra little bit of sleep. But then I realized that yesterday I was fired up all day without coffee. And I'm actually not that tired and I actually want to work. And so why do we fight so hard to put ourselves into a box? I don't know the answer to that, but I certainly know how to get out of it. And the way I get out of it is I inundate this mind with the right information on a daily basis. All right, you guys. God bless you. I will see you tomorrow morning on 7 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. 4th of July for all my Americans are coming up. Woo woo! I hope you've got something wildly, awesomely planned for your 4th of July that's having you live the life you really want, not rest the life you really want. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.